Welcome back to another thrilling episode of You Bet Your Garden from the studios of NPR station WDIY in Bethlehem, PA. I am still your host, Mike McGrath. Coming up later in the show, do you shun lawns because they're a waste of energy and use toxic chemicals? Guess what? I can tell you about how to care for a lawn that will reduce the time you spend on that lawn dramatically and explain that chemicals are the problems on your lawns. Once you stop using them and treat the lawn correctly, it will reward you with the best looking lawn in the neighborhood. You don't want to miss it. And you won't, because it'll be coming up after more of your fabulous phone calls and our interview right now with Jeff Acopian from BirdSavers.com, who has both invented and cheerleaded a great way to prevent birds from crashing into windows. Jeff, welcome to You Bet Your Garden.
Thank you, Mike.
Now, I think in the email I got from you recently, you were referring to an article that I had just read about the decline in all bird species.
That's correct.
Everywhere, across the board. The good news being there were still a lot of them left behind. But the bad news, it's always bad to have a decline in any large population like that. And part of the problem was habitat loss, which is universal among creatures who are being threatened, and bird strikes. And this was not from you or your company. This was in this massive worldwide studies. And it happens to all of us. But either way, it's not good for the birds, and it has been a difficult problem for people to address. Now, I don't know how long it was ago that you were first on the show, but your family has a long history of engineering. I believe the name and the product is a tribute to your grandfather, who didn't invent anything like this, but he taught all you guys how to be inventors.
Mostly my dad.
Yeah, and it's remarkably simple, and it's something I should remind people about every year, because there's nothing worse than hearing that thud. And then, do you go out and pretend there's something you can do, or do you just ignore it and hope that nobody else noticed? But you have a very simple solution. Matter of fact, your solution is not only not obtrusive, people really like it because of the movement. So let's get right to BirdSavers. And you were kind enough, he's in the studio with me. This is a special treat, cats and kittens. This doesn't happen very often. And what you've given me is very simple. You say this is parachute cord.
Yes.
Every 4 feet?
No, inches.
Every 4 inches, there is an attacher that attaches it just above your window. So that part is out of sight. And is it just press on?
Yeah, it's not every 4 inches where you attach it. It's on the ends. Let's say your window's 3 feet wide. You'd have attachment point on one end, the other end. And basically...
Oh, then the strings that hang down are 4 inches
Yes,
apart.
The strings that hang down, the cords, the paracord is 4 inches apart. And that's what keeps the birds from flying into the windows.
Right, but the attachers are just at the edges.
Yes, unless you have a long window, then you have something in the middle to hold it up so it doesn't start sagging. Like about every foot we put something, or someone should put something.
So what I'm looking at as I hold it up is these metal things that you won't see, very unobtrusive, every 4 inches, there is a, how long is it?
As long as the window. So if the window is 5 feet tall, it'll be just a tad like 1 inch under 5 foot. So there's a little bit of space on the bottom.
Okay, so every 4 inches, there is a thin thread, so to speak.
The cord.
Of parachute cord.
Yes.
A cord of cord. This allows the birds to see that they're flying into something.
Right. My theory is that they the birds fly through trees. They don't hit the branches generally. So my theory is that they see the cords and they assume they're a branch and they don't hit it.
This has been shown to work very well, right?
Yes.
You've got studies and
Yes.
stuff. So
Yes.
brag.
Okay. Well, the best example I can give that happened recently is in Houston Botanical Garden in Houston. They called me up about 2 years ago, and they had just spent a lot of money on bird-safe glass, supposed bird-safe glass, and their hummingbirds were still hitting the windows quite often, and they didn't know what to do. They called me up, and they said, "Do you think bird-savers will help?" I said, "Yes." And so they ordered bird-savers, and they put them up, and after a 1-year study, it eliminated hummingbirds from hitting the windows, those windows that they were hitting before.
So if it prevents hummingbirds, which are small and fast, in theory, it eliminated all other bird strikes of bigger birds.
Yes. Now, still, anything you put on a window, there's still a chance a bird can hit it. I mean, birds can fly into side of buildings with no windows, and they do that. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen. But yes, 4 inches apart, putting those cords will stop almost 100% of the birds hitting, almost.
Now, we're sitting in front of some really nice, large, industrial-sized windows. So we would have this cord of paracord hanging down almost to the bottom, but it is not as obtrusive to us because it's not static.
Yes, it's really interesting because you tell someone putting cords in front of the windows and they think, "Oh, that sounds terrible." But there's so many people who have done this, and most of those people, the people I hear back from, they actually like the cords hanging there. It's kind of, a lot of people have told me it's got a calming effect on them, these cords hanging out the windows. I actually had one young lady tell me that she said, "I can't wait to own a house so I can put these bird savers on the windows because they have such a calming effect on me."
What's the other phrase that people...
Zen wind curtains is the other thing that we call them, but a lot of people have now taken their own names. They call them Acopian cords or paracord curtains, but they're all Acopian BirdSavers.
So you've got these cords, and in the least little breeze, they'll be moving around. But paracord is kind of heavy compared to like twine or something like that, so they don't move very quickly, right? They just kind of gently sway. And as this young lady explained to you, I think you've heard from many people that outside of the bird protection, which makes them feel better about themselves as people, they either get so used to it they don't see them anymore, or, like she said, they have a calming effect because they're kind of moving with the wind.
Thus, Zen wind curtains.
Yeah, and that way, another little part of you is outside. Because obviously people who love big windows love looking at the woods or the oil refinery or, whatever they got. Hopefully it's woods. Then a part of them is outside experiencing that breeze.
It's very interesting you said that because that's very true. I look at cords every day when I wake up. I look and see if the wind's blowing at all, and they almost are always moving. Even when you think there's no wind, you look at the bottom of the cords and it's like, oh, it's moving a little bit, so there must be a little bit of wind out there. It's very interesting.
Now, I love what you do, and I want to just stop for a moment and remind people that we're talking to Jeff Acopian of Acopian BirdSavers, but you don't have to try to figure out how to spell his name. because the website is very simple, birdsavers.com. You can go on the website and you can have, I don't know who does your manufacturing, but you do. Hands-on. Everyone, you should sign them. Everyone a work of art. And you will make them to a specified size and ship them. And then all they got to do is stick them to the corners of the top of the window, and they're good to go. There's no weight at the bottom to bang against the window or anything like that. It's just this gentle movement. But you're not in this to make money. You just want to do the right thing by the birds. So on your website, birdsavers.com, you have free instructions whereby people can make their own.
Yes.
That's kind of giving away the horse there.
Yeah, well, the horse may be needed somewhere.
But of the response you get, what percentage want you to make it for them? And
I don't know, because everyone...
I guess you don't hear back from people who just make them themselves.
I encourage people to, if they make them, send me a photo But, I mean, there's probably lots of people who have made them who don't tell me. Which is fine. I started about a year or two ago a page on the website called Where Are BirdSavers? Any that I sell, I put on there, and anybody who tells me that they made them, I put on there. Not those people, but if there's somebody in Easton made them, you'll see Easton listed, and it'll say DIY or how many we've sold in Easton.
If I remember correctly, when I was on your website, that list was not exhaustive. It was exhausting. There were a lot of listings.
Yeah, there's a lot of places, but not enough, because there's so many windows in the world. There's so many windows in the world that are killing birds, and it's not all windows. It's just certain windows kill birds. Not all. It's not like if you see a window, it's going to be killing a bird. That's not necessarily true. You may even have a house that some one or two windows are killing birds or could be killing birds, and the other ones don't kill birds. But one of the problems is, how do you know it's going to kill birds until it kills a bird? And like you were saying before, what do? You kills a bird and you think, oh, well, this is unusual that a bird ran into my window. But it's not. It happens many places.
Now, I'm going to guess that the least safe windows for birds are like the Anderson-style windows, the uninterrupted big pieces of glass.
No, that's not true. In my backyard, in my garden, I have one little window. It's like 8 inches by 8 inches. And I saw a cardinal one day fly into that 8-inch by 8-inch window. So the size really has nothing to do with it.
So once again, this is really simple. It's very inexpensive. It
looks cool.
It looks nice. It is soothing. You can either buy it or make it yourself.
I recommend you make them.
You really do. Now, why is that?
Because I have so many things to do. I mean, I can't make all the bird savers that are needed in the world. If everybody this week went out who needed to stop birds from hitting their windows and made bird savers, the problem would be solved in a week. It would be that simple. But most people don't care. Bird hits the window, that's a one-off thing. It's not going to happen. But it happens all over the place.
Jeff, I just can't explain enough how much I love and respect the work you do.
Oh, thank you.
Not only coming up with this idea, but giving it away. What a friend of mine calls uncopyrighted. Free for all, put it to good use. So
thank you, Mike.
You get our highest endorsement.
Thank you for saying that.
All right, we have been talking with Jeff Acopian of Acopian BirdSavers, a.k.a. Zen Wind Curtains. The website is birdsavers.com. You can feed the birds and see them too, and save them too. It's just a great idea, and thank you for looking out for the birds. Last time, birdsavers.com. All right, thanks so much for being with us, and thanks again for coming into the studio. We get lonely in here sometimes.
It's nice in here.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, Jeff, and best of luck, continued good luck with your bird savers.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much.
Well, it's time for me to take a little break and thank Ozark Terry, who listens to our show on KSMU in Missouri. She kindly corrected me that the, quote, 3 mil plastic I discussed a few weeks ago was not 3 millimeters thick, as I said. I should have stopped right there, but of course I didn't. She writes, quote, 3 millimeters is approximately 1/8 of an inch thick. A mil is equal to 0.001 inches, and thus 3 mils is 0.003 inches thick, which is a heck of a lot less than 1/8 of an inch. But don't go doing the math just yet, because we'll be right back to help you have a beautiful looking lawn with much less work and no chemicals at all. I'm Mike McGrath, and you're listening to You Bet Your Garden from the studios of WDIY FM in Bethlehem, PA.